meeting of the Aurora Board of Education is called to order. Please rise for the pledge. Oh, over here.
Stage that way.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mr. Akam?
Here.
Mrs. Schneider?
Here.
Mrs. Click?
Here.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Here.
Mrs. Fuller?
Here.
All right, we begin tonight's meeting with special reports and recognitions. Tonight we are recognizing and congratulating 2 middle school students for being selected by Rotary International of Aurora as Students of the Month. They are Leah Himmel and Caden McDowell. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
Thank you. Would the students please come forward? And I will give you your certificates.
Congratulations. Each of you in the state of Melody, you can wear it in the picture afterwards. Congratulations. You can show that to your dad and he'll be very jealous. All right, you can take a picture with it afterwards. Please do. Tell him I said that too.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
I don't know if you have to do the roll.
Do we vote for? I
Did
don't
we
remember.
vote?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and vote now.
All right, we'll vote.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Abramovich, please introduce the students.
Thank you, Mrs. Mahalis and Board of Education. Today, for our Rotary Students a Month from Harmon Middle School, 2 individuals who are very involved in what goes on in the school, and they never let that as be an excuse for what they do inside the classroom. They are outstanding leaders by example, and they do a lot of service before self. We see that constantly. When Leah, you're going to hear, she's a very quiet individual, but always with a smile on her face. But when she gets on the stage, for instance, at our recent school musical, it's outstanding, and she always goes about her job and just does it so well. Caden, he's one when, for the first time ever, and all the times I've done this, when I told him you have to write a speech, he was like, all right, no problem there. And by the time he left my office, I think he already had his speech mapped out and where to go with it. I'm like, and that's outstanding, and that's how Caden is, and very involved, and again, going about things every day with such a positive attitude. So with that, I want you to hear from themselves about who they are. So our first up is Leah Himmel.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Leah Himmel. I'm an 8th grader at Harmon Middle School. I'd like to thank my teachers and educators for choosing me to get accepted into this Rotary Club and appreciate the encouragement they have given me throughout the school year. I've also gotten much support from my family, my mother and my father, and mostly my sister Emma, the person I've looked up to my whole life. She's inspired me to get more involved in my school community, and I took the time and dedication to try and also have the honor of getting into Beta Club in the school musical. In Beta Club, we love to help our school and community, even performing small tasks like recycling to help my teacher feels rewarding. The journey has been amazing. The school musicals has always been the highlight of my year because of the students performing with me. My school, friends, teachers, and clubs I have joined have been a motivation for me to go to school and have the inspiration to learn. I feel that I've personally created friendships with my teachers, which has helped me throughout the years of middle school. It's sad to think that my last year of middle school is ending and I'll be taking a big adjustment into my freshman year of high school, even though I'm very excited to start that chapter in my life, because I truly bonded with my educators and friends. School has shown me what some of my interests are. I've always loved theater and singing and really love the opportunity of performing every year in the middle school. My love for music also leads to band class. I play the alto saxophone, and even though it's an instrument I never expected myself to play, considering I began with the piano when I was younger, I've learned a lot about my personal interests through my school. People have always asked me what I want to do with my life in the future, and the truth is that I don't know what I want to do with my future, but I know I have decisions to make, and I'll see what the future holds for me. I guess the main reason why I'm most grateful for this award is that I'm getting individually noticed by my school, by my teachers and peers. That brings me back to how much I love my school community and how my school and family support me. Thank you.
And now we'll have Caden McDowell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Caden McDowell, and I'm currently an 8th grader at Harmon Middle School. I would like to thank the Aurora Board of Education and the Rotary Club of Aurora for acknowledging me as the Rotary Student of the Month. Being named Rotary Student of the Month motivates me to keep working hard, not just academically, but also as a leader. This is an honor, and I'm thankful for all my teachers and Harmon administrators who have nominated me. I couldn't do all I do without the support of my parents, Kristen and Brian, and younger siblings, McKenna, who is in 6th grade, and Asher, who is in kindergarten. I'm really enjoying Harmon in middle school and trying to make the most of all the opportunities available to learn and grow. I enjoy getting to know the amazing teachers as well as my staff and classmates. On the learning side, my favorite subjects in school are Spanish and math. I play the violin in the 8th grade orchestra, and I'm looking forward to all the new classes I'll be able to take next year. At Harmon, I participate in various clubs and sports. In 6th grade, I volunteered for the Tech Club, a group of students who stay after school to help senior citizens troubleshoot problems with technology. I also served on student council and was elected to serve as a class representative. In 8th grade, I was honored to be selected to join Beta Club. The Beta Club is a leadership, service, character, and academic achievement-focused club. One of the requirements of membership is completing 2 service hours a month. I have found these easy to accomplish because of my service-oriented life, something my parents and grandparents have always modeled in their own lives and passed down to me. I also love being active and playing sports. Currently, I'm on the 8th grade boys basketball team for Aurora. I also play football, baseball, and run track. All these are great ways to show leadership, teamwork, discipline, and hard work. I have learned firsthand through sports that if you work hard and put in the time, it does make a difference. Outside of school, one of my favorite things to do is to help at a vacation Bible school through my church. I volunteer as a helper for the younger kids. It is so much fun helping out the little kids throughout the day. Although I'm still figuring out my future as of now, I would like to attend college at Penn State University. It would be my ultimate dream to play a college sport at Penn State, and an even bigger dream to become a professional athlete. On the more practical side, I would probably study engineering or IT, and then see where that leads. Someone I look up to is TJ Watt from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a great role model in his community and also an amazing football player. When I think of what motivates me, I think of my parents. Without them, I would not be in the spot I am today. They have taught me that the effort I put in now impacts the opportunities I will have later. They encourage me to keep up with my work, finish assignments on time, and always do my best. They support me through all the ups and downs of sports, and they keep encouraging me to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. I want to thank the Rotary Club once again for this honor, and I am proud to represent Harmon Middle School. I will continue striving to be a student, athlete, and community member who leads with kindness, service, hard work, and integrity. Thank you all for your time this evening.
Thank you, students. You're obviously very good examples of strong leaders. Thanks for coming tonight, and to the families for joining us. You're free to leave as soon as some pictures are taken against the back wall. Just feel free to sneak out. And in the meantime, I think we'll just move on with the approval of minutes from our regular meeting of December 15th, 2025. May I have a motion, please?
Moved. Second.
Are there any comments or edits, additions to those minutes? All right, Mr. Schwalbe, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fuller,
Abstain.
Mrs. Click,
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis,
Yes,
Mr. Akam.
Yes.
minutes are approved as written. All right, in which order would you like to go?
I will take it in the typical order, which is for me to go first, if you don't mind. So the superintendent's report for this evening is dedicated to, let me grab this, Board Appreciation Month. So I'm actually going to leave my normal seat and go up to the podium here for a couple minutes. So as we mentioned in our organizational meeting, January is officially Board of Education Appreciation Month. And so we wanted to do a number of different things tonight to honor our Board of Education members as individuals, as a group, for your commitment to our district. And we really was trying to rack my brain in terms of trying to come up with some things that we haven't done before, in the last 10 years since I've been here. So I have some friends in the audience who have helped me a little bit, but I'm going to take the first part here on behalf of our administrative team in our district. So in your dark green folder, if you have that one, you will notice on the left-hand side is a certificate. That is not from me. That is from OSBA. They send those certificates every year to our Board of Education members. However, on the right-hand side, if you could take out that official proclamation, that is from me on behalf of the district. And on the left, you will find some pictures from Mrs. MacArthur's class. She wanted, her students wanted to draw you some pictures in appreciation of the board. So, without further ado, I figured that the mayor, Ann Wilmer Benjamin, cannot have all the fun in terms of coming up with proclamations and making those proclamations. So tonight, it's my turn as superintendent of the Aurora City School District to do a little proclamation. You can see with our little green standard and our logos down below. And I'll read that to you before we move on to the other portions. So, Certificate of Proclamation, Aurora City School District, Board of Recognition Month, January 2026. Whereas the Aurora City School District Board of Education serves as the elected governing body entrusted with setting the vision, ensuring accountability, and supporting policies that prioritize student learning, safety, and well-being. And whereas the Board of Education demonstrates steadfast commitment to the success of every student by championing high-quality learning environments and responsible stewardship of district resources. And whereas through leadership, collaboration, and service, board members work to strengthen partnerships among families, staff, and the Aurora community, keeping students at the heart of the district's work. And whereas the Board of Education's dedication helps advance the Aurora City School District commitment to developing the whole child in line with the root competencies in our strategic vision and upholding the green standard. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Paul Milsatich, Superintendent of the Aurora City School District, do hereby proclaim January 2026 as Board of Education Recognition Month and express sincere appreciation for the board's service, leadership, and commitment to our students, staff, and community. Thank you very much. When you see the mayor, make sure you know that I have now done a proclamation.
I'm going to tell.
I won't do that at the state of city or state of schools, but I want to. All right, so that is the first piece of our appreciation. Next, I wanted to have a student voice, and sometimes we've done that through music, through the choir or through the orchestra. But tonight we have a guest speaker. I reached out to Mr. Rubin and said, Mr. Rubin, you have so many wonderful government students and students who work with you, in the speech club, and I want you to sort of give me a couple names or give me some individuals you think would be good to have this honor to represent the student body to thank the Board of Education. And he picked Miss Cameron Taylor, who you've heard from before. Come on up, Cameron. You're going to join me here, which is a phenomenal choice, and I couldn't agree more. And Cameron, you were in Mr. Rubin's class last year, not this year, correct? So Cameron is actually going to be the voice of Green Nation of the student body to the board this evening and talk a little bit about the importance of board governance and talk about the importance of your role. I'm going to brag for Cameron a little bit because she's humble, but recently, we know that she's just an amazing student athlete, but recently she's had some really good news. She was accepted into Stanford on the West Coast. Yeah, that's Stanford University. Pretty phenomenal. And I think this is hot off the press, Cameron applied to be part of the Koch Scholars program in the fall, and which is nationwide. So she has made it to the regionals final level, which means she's one of 250 students in the entire country, with the possibility of being in the final 150, which means some serious prestigious awards and scholarship money, which I'm sure Mom is very excited about as well. So we will see how that goes, regardless of what happens. You know we are proud of you, Cameron, and I am honored to be able to share this microphone with you and to have you address the board on behalf of our student body. You ready? All right. Do it.
Okay. Good evening, members of the Aurora Board of Education, district leaders, educators, families, and community members. My name is Cameron Taylor, and I'm a senior at Aurora High School. On behalf of the students and teachers of our district, I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for your time, your dedication, and your commitment to serving Aurora's students and teachers through strong local governance and leadership. School boards play an incredibly important role in shaping not only our schools, but students' futures. Through organizations like the Ohio School Boards Association, boards are given the tools, training, and support to make thoughtful decisions that reflect the values of their communities. But what truly makes a difference is how those decisions show up in the lives of students each and every day. In Aurora, we feel that impact constantly. Because of the Board of Education, students have access to a wide range of academic, athletic, and extracurricular opportunities. I've had the chance to take 14 AP classes during my time here, classes that challenged me, prepared me for college, and helped me discover my interests. Opportunities like these happen because the board prioritizes rigorous academics and invests in resources that allow students to push themselves. Outside the classroom, the support continues. Because the board provides resources to numerous sports and clubs, I have learned many valuable lessons. I've learned teamwork and resilience on the volleyball court. As a student council member, I learned firsthand how to be a better leader, and through NHS, I've learned the importance of giving back. Each of these experiences exist because the board believes that education is more than simply textbooks and exams. It's about helping students develop as entire people. What stands out the most about the Aurora Board of Education is its commitment to listening to students, families, teachers, and the community at large. That commitment to local governance ensures that decisions are made with care, intention, and a deep understanding of what makes Aurora unique. So tonight, on behalf of the students and teachers of the district, I want to celebrate all the great work that has been done to help Aurora thrive. Thank you for advocating for us, supporting our passions, and believing in our potential. Thank you, and congratulations to the Aurora Board of Education for your continued service and leadership.
Thank you, Cameron, and congratulations.
So for the last portion, we do have a sort of a classic that we always bring back, and that is the Craddock staff and students expressing gratitude to the Board of Education. Compliments of Ms. Kim Stewart over there putting this together for the video. So Mr. Hayes, if you can hit the video.
Nice, thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes my report. Thank you for your service and your commitment to the district.
Thank you. It's a privilege to serve in this district, and I think we're all grateful to work alongside such excellent, dedicated educators and families and fellow board members. So, thank you very much.
Mr. Hayes?
All right, Mr. Hayes.
All right, so my report this evening is about the final piece of our state report card, which is value added. So I know we've done several updates about the state report card in the fall when that comes out. Value added data becomes available to the district in the month of November. This year was actually even later than normal, at the very end of November. So throughout the really the month of December, we really looked at a lot of that data, that information to kind of put something together from an overarching perspective to present to the board. So with that, before we get fully underway, I want to talk about what value-added data actually is. It's critical that we distinguish this from achievement scores we saw in the fall. Achievement asks, did the student pass? Whereas value-added asks, did we push high-performing students to go even further? And in Aurora, there's no doubt that high achievement is the expectation. So high growth, though, is the green standard, proof that we're adding value to every student regardless of where they start. A couple things to understand about value added is the methodology. So there's two different metrics here. So for K through 8, we use what's called the GAIN model. This is where our students are moving up the ranks compared to their peers across Ohio. And then for high school students, we use what's known as called the predictive model. And these are all things from the state of Ohio. And the predictive model is based on a student's testing history. The state predicts a score. When we beat that prediction, we generate what's called a positive index score, or a T-score. We aren't just meeting expectations, though, we're beating the odds. And what I want to do is kind of give you a little reminder of what value-added data might look like here. So you're probably very familiar with some of this information. We've presented this over the years, but this is basically showing us how the state views value-added. So in that graph there that you see, anything in the green is where we would consider to be expected growth. That middle ground there is what we would have a 0 T-score, or a 0 index score, which would mean our student actually grew an appropriate year's worth of growth in one academic year. Anything within the green is great. And then as we continue to get further to the right into that blue, you can see that's significant evidence of more growth. And generally, you're going to see at the very far end anything that extends beyond a 3.0 index score. So really, we want to be really happy with anything in the green. And of course, anything in that yellow area, evidence of less growth, is where, hey, we can look at that data. We can look at it not only by a grade level, but we can start breaking it down by teacher and understanding, hey, where are there areas that we can continue to close gaps and refine our strategies. But it's also an opportunity to celebrate the tremendous amount of growth that's happening across the entire district. So I want to go through and break things down for you a little bit through each building. And just as a reminder, this value-added data, although it's a reflection of PK through 12, the state really starts actually examining this at grade 3. So we're going to start by breaking down things at Layton. And so with Layton, what I really want to emphasize here is resilience. So if you kind of look at some of this data, which I have on the left-hand side, data from our ELA, math, and science from the 23, 24, and 25 school years, so you can kind of see some historic patterns or trends. It's always important for us to be able to examine those patterns or trends because we don't want to look at, hey, this is something that's only reflective of one particular cohort. We want to be able to examine things over the course of time. So just for the visual sake here, you have the last 3 years for ELA, math, and science. But going back to things, what I really want to emphasize here is resilience. So, for example, looking at 4th grade ELA, after maybe a slight dip in 2024, rebounded to a massive 3.55 index in 2025. And this really validates our choice to slow down and value the process over the product. So really the value of process of reading specifically. Changing gears to, let's say, 5th grade math, we see a slight plateau here where we're currently auditing our approach to ensure we're not just rushing content for a grade, aligning with our design specs of going beyond points and grades. And then when we look at science, hey, we've got really stable, consistent index scores, really showing great levels of growth here. And so, again, just emphasizing anything in the green is tremendous. Anything further to the right there is the type of growth that any school district would love to have for their kids. Just kind of jumping through, moving into Harmon. Now we start looking at things from ELA math and science for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Again, you can look at there from a visual, seeing some of the trends here. Looking at ELA to start, grade 6, strong recovery in 2024, 4.79, steady in 2025. When we look at grade 7, similar to math, 7th grade ELA really showing us to be like a powerhouse. Grade 8, we had maybe a slight dip in 2025, suggesting, hey, do we need to re-examine some of the things in our PLC process? And we've already taken measures in that capacity. But again, not anything that we want to jump to a major conclusion, but it continuously gives us something to assess. Looking at math, we see the impact here of social emotional shifts. And what I want to emphasize is when we talked about achievement scores in the fall, we actually noted how 6th grade had a slight dip in achievement. And this is where it's always really important to look at both achievement and growth. So although achievement wasn't where we would have wanted it to be for 6th grade, we could actually see that achievement is outstanding for 6th grade here. So it's always something more for us to dig into. And really, that also allows us to look at things like the shift from 5th to 6th grade, and then what happens over the course of time as students or our teachers are helping students meet their social emotional needs. And then, looking at 7th grade, once the kids are settling in, you can really see that growth explodes. There's an index score of 5, and just going back to the beginning, an index score of 3 is basically off the charts. And we have these types of growth measures all over the place, which is just a tremendous, and really looks at, and I can see Mr. Brancazio over there, one of our Harmon math teachers, and I can speak to it. Our teachers are honoring identity through relationships. It's not just about, hey, can you compute, but do I know my kids as a person, and do I understand their academic identity to help pull them and help them grow tremendously. When I look at science, we had a little bit of normalization here, a little bit of a candidate for us to continue to re-examine things. Again, though, this is saying that kids actually still exceeded a year's worth of growth. One of the things that we're looking at here is we had one of our best teachers, Angie Frankman, who was amazing, retire. And so even actually this year, we're looking at, hey, could there be some adjustments because of losing a tremendous teacher due to retirement? So how do we make sure that we're zoning in and taking the appropriate measures to continuously help our kids grow and evolve? And then jumping into high school, this is a longer list just because there's 6 tested subject areas. And again, I have data from 23, 24, and 25. So we've got math, which has 2 areas, algebra and geometry. We've got social studies, which has 2 areas, U.S. history and government. And then we've got biology, and then we've got English language arts. So just, again, looking at things across the board, you can pretty much see a really consistent aspect of everything, most things being in that light blue category. Really, continuing to shatter the ceiling here. Our algebra and geometry numbers are elite, really driven by a collaborative, department, vertically aligned from middle school on up, doing a great job of really varying their teaching approaches. We have teachers who are teaching some of the highest end classes and also teaching, hey, our fundamental intro classes. And I can't speak highly enough about the department as a whole, really helping each other continue to thrive and pushing each other. Being transparent up there, you see biology. That's an area where we need to have refinement. When we look at those scores, there's definitely different things we can dig into. We've already made some adjustments there. Want to give major props to Ms. Biro, department head there. Already is working with the ESC for some refinement aspects, working individually with some teachers because we were able to dig out and see some areas that we could really adjust things. We knew some of this going into last year and even made some staffing adjustments. So it's one of those things that we always want to, we don't want to make a reactive decision for one cohort, but we want to be cognizant of, hey, where things aren't meeting our expectation, we're going to take the necessary steps to make the appropriate adjustments. Looking at things like English language arts, really it's been continuously exceptional. Again, testament to the PLC process. And I really want to, this again starts out from a fundamental level for kids to be able to thrive in their high school years, it goes down to, our kids at Miller and Craddock learning, fluency and phonics and things like that, building up to teachers help at Layton and Harmon, building kids' stamina and also their love of reading and their ability to be critical thinkers, truly examining texts. And then from our PLCs, our teachers who are really working to make reading engaging, allowing kids to have empowerment and ownership over their learning. And that takes an investment in terms of what's going on in society. Our teachers are looking at, hey, what are texts, what are forms of media that our kids are going to latch onto to help grow them as critical thinkers, readers, writers. Can't say enough good things there. And then just kind of combining the U.S. history and government. Really, again, a reflection of a committed PLC process. We had a few years ago where we really refined things in U.S. government. You can look back to the 2023 year where we were in the yellow there. And we knew that going probably a year prior to that, making adjustments with curriculum, making adjustments with staffing, and then not just making adjustments, but those staff members committed to the cause of really working to say, hey, what do we need to do to help grow our kids, not just get them to pass a test. Even in the year when that was in the yellow in 2023, our kids were passing at an over 90% achievement rate, but it's really about growth. So how are we really working hard, digging in the trenches to understand where our kids need to continue to evolve their skills, and what can we do as teachers to sharpen our pedagogical approaches? And so, again, true testament to the teachers in those PLC processes that are really working incredibly hard. Again, being innovative with their practices, being data-driven, and being vulnerable to say, hey, things aren't where we need to be. Let's work to get them where we are. And the data shows that, hey, when they're willing to do that, the growth is going to occur. So, again, I can't say enough good things there. And then just kind of wrapping up, really just want to this type of information really confirms that Aurora is a district of exceptional learner growth. We're working to remain with a sense of humility while being diagnostic and using data to truly refine our practices. And just overall, I want to express gratitude to, of course, our students. They're the backbone behind all of the hard work that goes into this. Their desire to want to learn is what allows this growth to truly occur. That's also a reflection of our families and community as a whole. And then to our staff, and that's our educators, our administrators, our coaches, our counselors. Every single person that steps foot in this building is helping to nurture our kids' roots to help them become future ready. So I want to extend immense gratitude to everybody on our staff, including our Board of Education, for all the support. So everybody here today, all the administrators representing your buildings, just want to thank everyone for the ongoing commitment to learner growth. And so, ultimately, I want the board to know we're committed to that green standard. We want to continuously help propel our kids to grow so that it's beyond the blue and it's about being wonderful human beings, wonderful learners. So appreciate everyone, appreciate the time, and as always, go Green. But if you have any questions, I'm also happy to address anything.
Well, I appreciate the way that you explained how this data helps you all make informed, solid instructional decisions. And so I can see that the metric is useful in that way, but I'm wondering, as our achievement levels grow higher and higher, assuming they do, won't it be harder to achieve growth? Do you know what I'm saying? It seems like there are limits.
Yeah, so this is where that methodology comes in. So that predictive model going to the beginning, they're using that growth comparing what they're predicting for a kid based off of their previous achievement levels. So there's still opportunity. So when we actually break this data down, we can see it based off of where the state is predicting a kid to fall and they growing within those particular domains.
And one thing to remember, I'm probably here closer to microphone, it's about their placement and that curve equivalency too. So like it's a distribution of scores of all the different students in the entire state on each test. So it's really, are they maintaining that place in that distribution, moving up in that distribution? So if you're seeing, like Mr. Hayes was talking about with the blue, that means they're not just maintaining that place in that distribution of scores, they're continuing to move up versus their peers in each tested subject level. So it is hard. I mean, if a student gets a perfect, they kind of need to just about get a perfect the next year, to maintain that blue. It is a challenge when you're having a high achievement level. But we've also continued to do this, year after year.
Okay. All right then, so that concludes your report.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Schroeder.
All right. I have financials for November and December. We'll start with the end of November 2025. For the month of November, expenditures exceeded revenues by $3.4 million. This decreases the general fund cash balance to $17 million, slightly over that, to end November 2025. And that's typical for, heading into November, December, even January, because we stop collecting tax revenues, which is where our fund balance grows. So you'll see those cash balances dwindle in those winter months. And then February, this month, we'll start collecting again. So you'll see it start to grow again for the rest of the year. Through the month of November, revenues were 4.4% greater than previous year, while expenditures were 3.9% greater than previous year. Revenues for the month of November, revenue is down $16,963 compared to last year, a year-over-year change of negative 3.3%. However, year-to-date through November, revenue is up just over $1 million compared to last year. The month-to-month variance is due to a decrease in earnings on investment, stemming from, again, decreasing interest rates coupled with shrinking cash balance, resulting in fewer funds being invested to earn those interest dollars. The year-to-date increase of 4.4% is more in line with the forecasted projections. Revenue received through November totals $24.8 million. Of the annual budgeted total of $53 million, the amount budgeted revenue remaining is a little over $28 million, based on projections. Expenditures for the month of November, expenditures are down $1.2 million compared to last year, a year-over-year change of negative 24%. However, the year-to-date through November expenditures are up $880,000 compared to last year, a year-over-year change of 3.9%. The month-to-month decline is due to November of last year being a 3-pay month, so that's what that big variance is for. This year is only 2-pay month. Expenditures through November total $22.4 million of the annual budgeted total of $52.9 million. The amount of budgeted expenditures remaining is $30.5 million. The total cash balance for all funds is $18.1 million, with the general fund having a cash balance of $17 million. This overall cash balance is $3.4 million less than that at the end of October, as during this point of the year, as I said, revenues start to slow down as expenditures continue as is. Any questions about the November financials? On to December. For the month of December, expenditures exceeded revenues again by $3.5 million. This decreases the general fund cash balance to $13.5 million to end December 25. Through the month of December, revenues were 4.7% greater than the previous year, while expenditures were 2.9% greater than the previous year. For the month of December, revenue is down $6,000 compared to last year, a year-over-year change of negative 1.2%. However, year-to-date through December, revenue is up $1.1 million compared to last year. Again, month-to-month variances mainly caused by earnings on investment and a decrease in restricted state aid, so our foundation funding. The year-to-date increase of 4.5%, again, more in line with our forecasted projections. And revenue received through December totals $25.3 million of the annual budget of $53. The amount of budget revenue remaining is $27.8 million. For the month of December, expenditures are down $126,000 compared to last year, a year-over-year change of negative 3%. However, year-to-date through December, expenditures are up $756,000 compared to last year, a year-over-year change of 2.9%. The month-to-month decline due to decreases in other expenses and salary and benefit expenditures. Through December, our expenditures total $26.4 million of our annual budgeted $52.9, and we have about $26.4 remaining for the year projected. Total cash balance for all funds is $14.5 million, with the general fund having a cash balance of $13.5. This overall cash balance is $3.5 million less than that at the end of November, as during this point of the year, again, the collection rates are slow. But we should receive our first tax collection this Friday, actually, so we'll start to see a climb again. And then our next meeting, I will have the forecast to present to you guys, because that is now due at the end of February, so we will have a fun one then.
Okay, we have Exhibit D1, which is a resolution to approve the financial statements and reports for both November and December. May I have a motion, please? Actually, I'll make the motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions for Mr. Schiraldi? All right, and please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right, thank you. On to new business. Exhibit E1A is a resolution to accept gifts and contributions. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
We thank all of our donors for these generous donations. Any other comments? Then Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right, moving on to personnel resolutions. Without objection, I'll take the first 14 together. And we'll save the last one to do separately. I'll read through them, then I'll get a motion. Exhibit E1B1 is a resolution to accept resignations and retirement. Exhibit E1B2 is a resolution to approve a leave of absence request. Exhibit E1B3 is a resolution to employ licensed substitute teachers for this school year. Exhibit E1B4 is a resolution to employ a building substitute teacher for this school year. Exhibit E1B5 is a resolution to award supplemental contracts to non-district personnel. Exhibit E1B6 is a resolution to award supplemental contracts to district personnel. Exhibit E1B7 is a resolution to employ support staff substitutes for this school year. Exhibit E1B8 is a resolution to employ support staff. Exhibit E1B9, a resolution to terminate the employment of a support staff member. Exhibit E1B10, a resolution to approve the updated job description for a Director of Facilities, Maintenance, and Operations. Exhibit E1B11 is a resolution to employ a long-term substitute specialist. Exhibit E1B12 is a resolution to employ the introductory appointment of support staff. Exhibit E1B13, a resolution to approve a revised salary schedule for maintenance staff. And E1B14 is a resolution to approve a revised job title and contract date increase for what is now called our Director of Pupil Services. And I make a motion for all of those. May I have a second?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions about any of those before we vote? All good with you, Tim?
Yes, and there are so many of them, I don't, unless there's a question,
Right.
then I think we're good to go.
Okay. All right, then Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right, all of those are approved. And now Exhibit E1B15 is a resolution to approve a revised salary range for administration. May I have a motion, please? Chair seconds. Did you want to say something before?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So just wanted to clarify this, and I know I put this in my weekly updates to the board, but once we resolved the AEA contract and the OPSI contract, really needed to turn my attention to our administrative salary ranges. So participated in the Greater Cleveland salary study going back to the fall, just to get information from districts around the area to see, where we stood in terms of what we paid our administrators for all the different positions. It was very, very helpful, actually. And then Mr. Schiraldi and I both were able to utilize some of the frontline software that we have to find some comparative school districts as well to add to that. And so that is the recommendation for all these different positions, most of them obviously adjusting the ranges. And just to be clear, that's sort of how we have done it in Aurora. We adjust the ranges, which is what we're doing tonight, but there are no salary adjustments until the end of the year in the summer, based on evaluations, recommendation from me to the board president and then to the board for approval. We don't have like a salary schedule with steps and things like that, responsibilities some districts do. That's just not how we're set up right now. So again, these are to make sure that we are staying competitive with our pay for our administrative team and able to make those raises year after year, sort of commensurate with their responsibilities and, you know, what peer schools and roles are being compensated.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you for that.
Mhm.
Are there any questions?
Could you just quickly elaborate, like, what would be the factors that go into that low, midpoint, high, that range, like, what?
Yeah, so essentially, I didn't set up the original one, which was, I think, set up maybe 20 years ago. But the thought was that we would establish, okay, what is a low point for an administrator in that position who doesn't have much experience here or elsewhere versus what is sort of like the average range given years of experience for that position. And then the high would be how high are we able to go up to for somebody who does have that experience, maybe coming from somewhere else if we hire them in. And that was sort of the rationale. When we did our study to look at moving these up, it was really looking at what our administrators paid, how does that sort of match up with peer schools, trying to find the averages, making sure we were there or try to move slightly above to stay competitive. What I found, though, is actually, you know, we pay our administrators well, but really there's a lot of room to grow in terms of how we pay them compared to other school districts. And so that was when we were trying to reestablish those ranges, that was the thought process to get that midpoint up to what it was in the salary study and peer groups or maybe slightly above. Right now, we're not, you know, what we're paying our administrators is probably slightly below average. Not in the whole study, but just in our peer group study, similar school study. Does that help? Okay.
We've got to move motion in a second, right?
Yes, we have a motion and a second.
All right, then please call the roll.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right, salary ranges are approved.
Okay.
Exhibit E1C is a resolution to establish student fees. May I have a motion, please?
Move.
Second.
Are there any questions?
Just a quick comment. There's really hardly any changes in here except for if there were like slight workbook change fees or things like that, but really the fees are pretty much the same as last year.
Okay, I had a question about the kindergarten fee. Do we offer payment plans or spread that out, or? Mary might know, right?
We do offer payment plans, and there's also free reduced lunch, families and students who pay on an ability to pay. So yes, there is assistance with that. And that's interesting that you asked about that because I'm actually going to have a little report on that topic and a potential creative way to defray some of those costs next month, but we'll wait on that till February. But yes, there is assistance with that.
Okay. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
All right, Exhibit E1D is a resolution to approve the Spark Program Agreement, and I will make a motion.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
I could just comment quickly that this has nothing to do with us. It doesn't change any services. It's just Spark essentially being consumed by the COG, which is a governmental agency, and they just need us to board approve this, and I need to, you know, send them the resolution so they can go forth with what they need to do. That's really it. But it changes nothing for Aurora.
Okay. All right, and please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Exhibit E1E is a resolution to approve an out-of-state and overnight field trip to Canada. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? All right, then, Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fuller? Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes. Exhibit E1F is a resolution to approve changes to a policy and a regulation regarding expense reimbursements and also a policy change regarding procurement and administration of overdose reversal drugs. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
Just a quick comment that these are all required changes and very little latitude, so it's just a matter of getting them into the policies and then getting them changed with OSBA once you approve them.
All right, and you've had lots of time to review them. Any questions? All right, and please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Exhibit E1G is a resolution to approve an overnight trip for the future business leaders of America. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? And Mr. Schroeder, please call the roll.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes. Exhibit E1H is a resolution to approve a bus purchase. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions other than the 1,000 I've already asked?
Do you mind if I comment on this one, just to remind
No,
everybody how
just
this?
go ahead.
So, we don't have the permanent improvement funds where we can just go out and buy 5 buses. So we are on a rotation, and we have to bid this out to the lowest bidder. That's what we did, working with Mr. Arquilla, and you can see that the lowest bid for the bus that we need in terms of having the cameras and security and all the features that we would normally have goes to Cardinal. And we did that for 4 typical buses and with 1 special needs bus. They were the lowest in both contracts. And we will pay for 1 bus for the next 5 years, but that allows us to get 5 new buses this summer. So that's what this bid is for. But it's essentially financed over 5 years. So essentially buying 1 per year, but getting them all this summer.
Any questions? All right, please call the roll.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes. Exhibit E1I is a resolution to approve a food service contract. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Any comments or questions?
I would just say that both these groups did a great job, but we decided to keep Nutrition Group as they were sort of the top vendor that emerged throughout the entire process. They've been doing a great job and really trending upwards recently in terms of the choices that they're giving to our students, the product, working with Krista Guarini, who has been incredible in terms of helping us from that director position. And if you remember, I can remember years ago where we were losing money on food service. And now we're hopeful we're getting to the point where, every year we'll be getting a guaranteed income from food service, potentially $175,000 to $200,000 a year. So we've come a long way, and they've done a great job being a good partner with us. So Aramark made an incredible pitch, but Nutrition Group still came out on top.
Okay. Questions? All right, please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Mr. Whoops, sorry about that. Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
All right, and E1J is a resolution to approve emergency school closings. May I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Should I make a comment on this
Yes.
one too? So we actually don't need to approve these. It's not in our board policy. It's been a habit, a long-time habit. So we discussed that we might not approve these anymore because I have the discretion to make the decision and do it. So this might be the last one. Thank you for, we have to vote and approve it. However, I just wanted to remind the board, we do have 5 calamity days that we have used. We will have 1 more, and per our plan, as I shared with you, we will have 3 virtual sort of blizzard bag asynchronous learning days coming up. So we're preparing with our teams and our principals for that. If that were to be the case, we will all be doing some communicating to the families and community. So we'll see. It's only early February, so it might have to happen.
Yeah, I did ask Dr. Milsatich what happens if the board votes no.
And I had no answer.
So
It's already done.
if you want to see chaos, feel free.
Good point, yeah. All right,
I
please.
do have to appreciate the nice son's teachers have been very good at communicating what's going on.
Okay, good. Yeah. We'll continue to work on that and I'll be communicating that actually if we get beyond, or we get to day 6, I'll be reminding everybody that the next 3 are virtual learning days or blizzard bag days, depending on the level.
Okay, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fuller? Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Clegg?
Yes.
Okay, and we have no discussion items, any board items? All right, then could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Schrawley, please call the roll.
Mrs. Clegg?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.